Hello friends, Miss Kim here and welcome. I would like to show you today how to make some marvelous marbled paper. Paper marbling is a fun and crafty way to make colorful, swirled random designs that will help you create unique pieces of art. Now to start today, we're going to need to use shaving cream, not shaving gel. Make sure it's the foam. We're also going to use food coloring. You're going to want some kind of a pan, a shallow pan like a cake pan or a cookie sheet. And of course you're going to need some paper. It can be any kind of paper, computer paper, construction paper, but my favorite is cardstock. It's a little thicker, a little more sturdy, so that's what I'm going to be using today. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing we're going to need to do is to fill our pan with some shaving cream. So I'm going to shake it up and we're going to get ready to get this art project started. All right, and then the next thing you're going to need is some kind of a spatula or even a piece of cardboard. You just want to, it's almost like you're frosting a cake. You just want to smooth it out a little bit. It's like that. It's okay if it's not perfect. That'll actually add to the textured look of our marbled paper. So just smoothing it out a little, getting it ready to add our color. All right, there we go. Now, for the fun of the creation, you can just think of all different colors that you like. When you add your colors, you're gonna just drop them in like that. Now we're going to need to swirl our colors. You want to swirl them very gently. You could use a toothpick, you could use a craft stick, you could use the end of a paintbrush. That's what I'm going to use. And when you swirl, make sure that you use a light touch. You don't want to mix all the colors because you'll then have just one color and it may not be very pretty. So we're just going to kind of drag the toothpick or the craft stick, paintbrush, whatever you're using, drag it through the color, but not over mixing the colors. And as you can already tell, every one of these is completely different. Each time you make a marbled art print. Right. Just have this kind of fun just to swirl and make all the streaks in the color with the shaving cream. All right, and I have a bowl. You might use a bowl to put your tools in while you're creating. Now, you're going to take your paper and you're going to just set it in there. You want to make sure to gently press it down, not all the way to the bottom, just gently press it down. Make sure you get the sides, the edges, the corners. And then when you're finished, you're going to pull it up out of the shaving cream. And I'm going to move the pan out of the way so we can see our, wow, look at that. Well, we're not quite done. Now you're going to use something like a scraper. It's either going to be like a ruler, or you could even just use a piece of cardboard from a box. So that's the next thing we're going to do, is just scrape the shaving cream off. Again, I like to use a bowl to put the extra shaving cream in. All right, like that. Maybe come down a little. And see, it's still even making its design as you get all the foam off. There you go. Now look at that, how interesting all the colors are for this. As you can see, each way you turn it, you might see something different in it. So that is how easy it is to make marbled paper, just like that. Now you're going to want to set it aside and let it dry, and there's a lot of different things you can do with it. You can make cards with it, and you can use it to cover a spiral notebook, or a notebook of yours, a journal. You can make your own gift tags. I'll show you some of these ideas in just a moment. So something else I like to do with the paper is I like to put a border around my paper. This will give it a framed effect. I'll show you one that I already did that you can see what the framed effect looks like. There you go. So it looks more like a picture frame. Okay, so let's see what happens when we do that. Now, you can actually reuse your pan with the colors in it. You can stir them a little more if you like. And you can add a few more color drops if you want, or you can just see what happens when you put the next paper in here, and it's going to look a little differently. And all the little peaks and valleys of the shaving cream. Just give it a little more swirl. All right. So now I'm going to take the paper that has the frame on it. It's made, I just use masking tape. You can use painter's tape. You just want something that'll come off. If you are using like computer paper, then the tape might stick to it a little more, but the cardstock, it comes off pretty well. So just put some masking tape on there. Then again, I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to give it a nice little gentle press, but not too hard. All the way. Try to get it all the way to the edges. Okay. And now for the big reveal, we're going to pull it back out. You can see how fun that looks. And now, again, we're going to scrape the... You're going to want to make sure to have a lot of paper towels for this. It's a fun project, but it gets a little bit messy, and you're probably going to end up with some food coloring on your hands, but it washes off. You might also be careful what shirt you're wearing, so you might not want to get any of the food coloring on your clothes, too. So, there we go. Now, look how pretty that looks. But let's see what happens when we take, I'm going to wipe my hands off real quickly because I'm afraid I might have some coloring. Now let's see what happens when we take off our frame. And look at that. Isn't that nice? Doesn't that just look like something you could just hang on your wall? How pretty. That is so pretty. Again, each way you turn it, you might see some other imaginative picture here. So I like that. I see a lot of different things there. That's great. So that's one of the fun things to do, is to put a little frame with some tape around it. So another thing I'm going to do is show you what you can do with shapes. So I've already put the shaving cream in this pan, and now we're just going to add some colors. So whoops, that color's already really getting involved here. Let me wipe that off. And there we go. Now you might think about what kind of colors that you like the best and what kind of things you want your picture to show a lot of. Do you like things that remind you of the ocean? You might want to do things that remind you of a sunrise or a sunset. What do you like? Do you like things that remind you of flowers? There's lots of different ways you can combine your colors to have all different unique art prints. Using the craft stick now to swirl, just to see what that does. It's a little bit bigger and broader than the toothpick or the end of the paintbrush. Okay, now something fun you can do. I have taped off a frame effect, and you can actually, after you're finished with your art print, you can trace some shapes, like with a cookie cutter or just freehand, and you can cut them out and have some shapes to use for cards or just for fun. Or you could already have a shape and you could actually tape it to your drawing so that you can, I'll show you what that's going to do when we take it out. So first I'm going to put some tape. I'm going to move this a little bit so I can put some tape on this cat shape. I'm going to stick the cat we'll just stick it right here. Okay, so we have the shape of a cat on our paper. All right, so now we're just going to, there we go, upside down cat. We're going to just put it over here. Gentle push down into the shaving cream. Paper towels. All right, let's see what we have. It's always fun, the big reveal. All right, I'm going to move that tray out of the way. Lay this down. Now, this part you have to be a little careful because we have the shape on top of the picture. So I'm going to be careful as I remember where I put the kitty cat, especially with its tail, as I take some of the shaving cream off. This one looks kind of like, I don't know, maybe it reminds me a little bit of something with ocean. A lot of color here. All right. So let's see now what happens when we take off our kitty cat. Just use a little piece of tape to, okay, so sometimes, so first of all, you see that we now have a print with a kitty cat. We could use that on a card. We could use that just as a decoration. We could put it on a piece of construction paper. So there's the kitty cat right there. And then you see that we also have the reverse. We have the spot where it's a little bit, sometimes does of the color gets onto your outline of where the kitty was. But you can see now we have a different kind of a kitty, different collage look to this. So let's go ahead and take off the frame. All right, and there you go. There is our nice creative picture with using a shape. So again, you can take your art print, and after you've made it, you can trace some shapes. Perhaps you want to trace a butterfly or a dinosaur. Turn them back around for you. A tree. Whatever you like. And you can take them and just trace them with your already finished paper, and then have your shape. Or you can do put your shape if you want to have the situation. There we go. Sorry about the upside down. With where you make the shape and you make the reverse shadow, if you would, of where your shape was. So just some extra fun things. So concluding today, I just want to show you some things that different things that you can do. So this one was one I did, and just kind of the idea of kind of the oceans and the world a little bit. So you can cut it out and glue it onto a piece of construction paper. You can, this is another one where I did the shape, and then I took the shape that I had, the heart, and I made a card. I'm backwards, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry, there we go. And you can make your own cards. Here you see, just fun things you can do. Sorry about that upside down. Here's just taking some shapes, putting them on construction paper, but after you'd already marbled them. So much fun. And even if you take your marbled paper and you cut your shapes out, you can still use the rest of the marbled paper even if you wanted the shapes. Just nothing needs to go to waste. You can have all different kinds of art projects. You can even take a regular spiral type notebook, but put your art print on top of that, and now you have your own unique school journal or homework spiral, whatever you have. So other things you can do with it. You can even make your own gift tags. So just all kinds of fun stuff you can have with marbling paper. And I just want to, in conclusion, show you that this uniqueness, don't ever forget that you are a star. And so that's what I actually took the shape, taped it on, pulled it off, and then added it back into the picture. So all kinds of things. I hope that you've had fun today, and I hope that you'll come up with some great creations and have a lot of fun with marbling, doing marbled paper. And I want to just let you know that having fun and making unique creations is a great thing to do. And I want to thank you for watching and hope you have a great week. Bye.